You see bubbles, 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 bubbles. You do?
Yep.
You do? Yeah, okay.
And put your room
Hey everybody, my name is Shane Schultz. I am the creator and host of the Arisen Strength podcast. I want to welcome you to tonight's show. We do this show Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. What we try to do is we try to encourage people to pursue their dreams, talents, and capabilities in spite of the challenges and struggles that they face, whether it be illness, injury, or lifetime experiences. These type of things, these type of situations, they have a habit of being able to suppress what it is that's all too unique to us, what makes us special, which is our passions in our. And what Arisen Strength tries to do is we try to encourage people to pursue those dreams in spite of those challenges that they face. And how we do that, Wayne, is that we actually do it through support, empowerment, and then after all that work, we have the right to celebrate.
Well, that sounds great, Shane. Just for our viewers, it looks like you're sporting a new look tonight.
Wayne is busting on me because I busted my glasses as we were getting ready for the show. So
5 minutes ago.
it was like one of those things where like click, it was like, uh-oh. And I have a scratched cornea, so I am totally blind. So Wayne is having fun. So but we're gonna have a really good show tonight. It's actually the second show where we have a two show special that we're doing in regards to the power of turning the thought. And we had a pretty good show last week, and I know for a fact that it's gonna be impacting, it's gonna be informative, and it's definitely gonna be emotional. So, I'm really looking forward to tonight's show. Who do we got here tonight? We got Wayne, the hacker. He is a producer of the show. There's me. And then we have Crystal, who is with us on the audio, and she's in the chat room. She is the director of the interactive studio with Arisen Strength. And Crystal, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful, Shane. Thank you for asking.
It's awesome. And we're going to have a special guest, but she's also part of the team as well. Her name is Christina Claycomb. She is going to be our special guest tonight. We talk about turning the thought, and I know that story is going to be, quite an event.
Yeah, we're going to hit her up on the phone in about 10 minutes or so.
About 10 or 15.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. She's, we've had a little chat with her off air, and wow, what a story.
Yeah, it is amazing. And just wait. You just got to hear what it is that her story is all about. I want to say Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Happy Father's Day.
If it wasn't for you guys, mothers and fathers, they bring us around. They are the ones that start the miracles that we are able to be entertained by and learn from. And whether you're a biological father or a stepfather, hats off to you. We appreciate you. I haven't been able to get a hold of mine yet today. Dad, happy Father's Day. I love you very much, and I'm going to get in touch with you as soon as we get done with the show. Others that we have is Charles. And Charles, who is part of the Arisen Strength team, we have an update in regards to him. And I got to tell you, it's the best case scenario.
Just to update everybody quickly, Charles, we brought him in. We did an autism show. Yeah. Great show. If you get a chance to go back and look at that one. Yeah. But we also discovered Charles, he was in line for a heart transplant. Yeah. He was kidneys. Lots of dialysis. He talked about his dialysis experience. 3 days a week, 5-6 hours a day, and still with that, all the other things that he was doing to reach out for other people. It was a great story to hear about Charles.
Yeah, and the thing is that one day Charles came into the room, Shane says, and I'm like, uh-oh, what'd I do? And he says, I'm getting my kidney. Now, he's been waiting for a kidney for over 6 years, I believe it is. And what happens is that he's got a very atypical blood. And so he was very lucky to get that call. He's been on the list for a very long time, and compared to some. And so when he had that opportunity, he packed his bags and he was gone. Now, when he had the operation, everything went fine. Everything was really going well. Unfortunately, afterwards, he started developing complications. He started actually rejecting the anti-rejection drug. So he had a number of challenges that were going on. And to be quite honest with you, it wasn't really looking all that well. We were very lucky to have Charles' son, which his name is Chuck, and he was actually giving us updates, periodically as to what was going on. And I have to say that, knowing a lot about the process, because I actually work for a renal institute for research and medical billing, it's like I kind of knew that there was definitely some challenges in front of Charles. But over time, over the past week and a half, Charles has been getting better. And whatever it is that the folks in the Arisen Strength family, the Unveiling Stigma, the Anxiety and Depression Warriors, whatever, all of you, whatever it is that you're doing, keep doing it, because he is getting better and better and better, to the point as to where he actually had another operation in regards to his leg in order to get the circulation going better. That worked out well. And now he's not on dialysis anymore, which is that is a victory in a big, big way. So really, this is becoming the best case scenario that Charles could have. And I just want to say thank you for everybody, their concerns, their message they left, their prayers and everything. Hopefully we'll be able to get Charles back with us soon. He's in for a long recovery. But hopefully we can get him back to us as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's a great start. And it's a reminder with a lot of these issues, a lot of challenges that we face in our life, that they're not quick fixes. These are about that. It's progress, not perfection. It's journey, not the destination. This was a process for him, and there was, you don't want to say, I'm going to be this touch and go, putting it to flippant, but he had to get through this surgery. This is a major surgery. He had to get through it. It took some time. The body has to adjust. But now he's coming out of it. It's looking like he's going to be able to be off the dialysis, which was taking up a big part of his life. I mean, there was a lot of, and even when you do the dialysis, after you're done, you're wiped out.
Yeah.
It's not like you go in and they do it, and then you're, great, you're wiped out. And he's doing it 3 times a week, and it was a big part of his life was treating this, and it's going to free up so much for him to do so much more, because he was doing so much beforehand. Oh, yeah. It was
and that's it's funny how you should say that, because the doctor actually told Chucky, and she had said that Charles is coming back. And I told Chuck, well, we need a second opinion, because he never was normal. So it's like we want to make sure that we've got the right guy. So anyways, but he is doing better, and I just want to say thank you to everybody in regards to that. We talk about the interactive studio. The interactive studio for Arisen Strength is in full-fledged. I mean, we got it open 24/7. We actually are. This is where we're really excited. We still haven't found the bottom of what this room can do, but it actually allows us to be able to show the videos. You can watch the videos. You can watch the show while interactively chat with others, and that's why we got Crystal in the chat room. She's actually the director of the studio, as to where she's able to keep people entertained, lively. And while watching the show and making it a fun time. And I think that this is, it's really going to get, we're going to find out that it does even more than what it is that we're doing right now.
Yeah, one of the things we can do with the studio, in the chat room, with Crystal right in there live, is if you've got questions, you want to have a conversation about what's going on, right there, and Crystal is one of the important members of the Arisen Strength team, so you're talking right to the team members here. Just, feel free to engage during conversation. Talk about it, especially if you're having technical difficulties with the chat room or with the videos. Let us know. Talk to Crystal about it, and then Crystal would get the words to us. Shane and I don't really get an opportunity to watch the chat room too much during the show. We got to work that out a little bit. I'd like to keep a little bit of an eye on it. Like try and get a little bit more of an eye on it, just so I can be a little bit more involved. I feel like I want to be involved. But we got a lot going on here in this part of the studio, so we rely on Chris will do a lot there in the interactive studio.
Just follow my lead.
So enjoy the show.
Well, so you're going to
enjoy the studio. If you got suggestions, feedback, we're all about performance feedback, revision, learn, improve, share. It's the support and empower and celebrate. That can work both ways. You can support us, empower us by giving us some feedback, and then the celebration comes when we put a great show together for everybody and we all enjoy it. That's what we're moving forward.
Yeah, Arisen Strength concept has been growing and growing and growing. Since the beginning of which really we didn't get started to really about March as to where we started really hit our stride as to what it is that we're doing. And because of how good that we've been doing, we've had a lot of different opportunities. I personally have had some opportunities in order to be interviewed by different media sources, and also I've had some opportunities that are in the works of what it is that can be in the future. One of those opportunities we're going to start tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm actually going to have a hour-long show with Michael Long on the Journey into the Light network on Blog Talk Radio. So this is, I'm really excited about that. I think that it's a different audience that we can bring Arisen Strength to, and I'm really looking forward to being able to see, how it is that comes, how we get the feedback from that.
So that's just basically going to be a replay of the Sunday night show. We're going to do Sunday night show and then Monday night show, or just a replay there?
No. No, actually, Michael Long is going to actually be the host of the show, and he's going to have me. He's going to basically be interviewing me. He actually asked me what type of topics, did I want to talk about tomorrow, and I said no. I said what we need to do is we just need to do a general aspect of what it is that we're doing now, and then over time, I'll object what it is that brought us here. Because if we were talking about the topics of tonight, I think we'll hit the ceiling before we even start from the beginning. So it's like so.
You say over time, so this is not just a one-time shot tomorrow.
No, this is the commitment that we're doing. We're doing it for the year. We currently have a start. As to where we're doing it for the quarter of the year, but the idea is to do it for the year and ongoing, and seeing where it is that how it is that it works out for the Journey into the Light network, as well as how it works for Arisen Strength and Serenely Speaking. So I'm really excited about it. I talked to Michael today, and he's really excited about it. So for those we'll be posting the links in all the different sites for everybody to be able to come and listen to Blog Talk. It has a chat room as well, right at Blog Talk itself. So come and join us. It's like I definitely, I always want to see, the people that follow us in order to get the feedback that learn, improve, share thing.
We talk about the chat room being open 24/7, so I guess people can even just stop by the chat room and pick up that link tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna put it into the chat room. We're gonna put it into the Arisen Strength family. We're gonna put it into the Serenely Speaking. We're gonna put it into a whole lot of different areas, and so that way everybody can join us that wants to be there.
Well, I guess the point I was really trying to make, maybe it was a little too subtle, is that the interactive studio is going to be your one-stop shopping place for the moment for every Arisen Strength. We got you probably run across it in a lot of events. Under the chat room, everything will be centrally located there until we can get the website up and running. Yep. Which is that's again we got like I said, we talk about things planned.
Yeah.
Then we'll have the website up and running. The chat room, the interactive studio will be embedded right there into the website with all the other things. So you're taking step. So yeah, it's very exciting. Catch the links there.
Yeah, I mean it really is exciting, because it allows us to be able to branch out, outside of Facebook and outside of Twitter and everything. It's just another venue that we can see, because there's no matter, everybody can somehow benefit from the concept of Arisen Strength. whether they have illness, injury, or lifetime experiences, which everybody has a lifetime experience at some point in time, or it's just to motivate them through the day. I think that it's going to be fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. We're going to start. It's on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Blog Talk Radio, Journey into the Light Network. Look it up. It's Michael Long. Just hit the search Michael Long, and it'll bring you right to the network. And, I think it's going to be a good time. So let's get to the show.
All right. We got a lot.
We do have a lot.
I'm looking at it. We can start making cuts right now.
Yeah.
We don't need you anymore.
Yeah. So, well, as I said, this is the second show of a two-part idea. It didn't start out as a two-part idea, but when we went to do the recap show on Thursday night, we had nothing but technical difficulties. We had terrible weather. The audio, actually, Google totally crashed. What was it, about 5 minutes before the show? And then we got it up and we got it running and everything, and then we were rolling, and we had an awesome show. And then comes to find out that the audio was just not working right.
One thing I did do, I haven't taken it down yet. I left it up there with the horrible audio, but there was a big graphic over the video that runs the entire duration of the video, saying this audio was really bad.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to watch it because the graphics over there. You're not gonna be able to hear it and to see. But we left it up there because we're about full disclosure here. We show our the good side, the bad side here. It's probably going to come down soon, but it's been up there for a few days.
I hope it comes down soon.
It's an ongoing battle here for how long it stays up.
But the reason why it turned into be a second idea was that I actually got a phone call from somebody, and it was to the point as to where some people might have thought that when we were talking about turn thought, that we were kind of being too generalistic, that we're not really taking into account those people who, quote unquote, can't turn the other thought, turn the thought, or because their challenges are much more than what it is that I would ever expect, because I don't deal with myself, such as RSD and chronic pain.
Yeah, we may have made it sound, and again, this was completely unintentional, but we may have made it sound like turn the thought means, hey, how bad your life is, just ignore it and get up and do all the things that you want to do in life. And we may have sent that message inadvertently. That was definitely not the intention of the message, but we got called on it, and which is what we expect. That's the feedback, right? We can't. It's performance feedback revision. Without that feedback, we can't catch that. We can't challenge our own thinking. We can't challenge our own speaking here, and we can't get right to the issues that are important to our listeners. So this is a chance for us to address that.
Right. And the person that called me was my good friend Christina. Christina, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome, and we've had a heck of a show already, and now we're to the point as to where I know that this is going to be a part that's going to impact a lot of our audience. So you gave me a call after the show, and you told me what?
Oh. There's a lot that you guys really need to understand. Each person goes through their own problems.
Yeah.
And you needed to understand that it's really not that easy to just turn a thought, but each person has their own problems. Not everybody's is the same. It's not real easy to do that. But I do understand that it does need to be done. You may not be able to get out of bed each day, but you know what? You can open your eyes.
Right.
And you really do need to think of the positive thing. And it may be something very small.
Right.
And you do need to appreciate that. And what you said, you do need to be positive. But it may be in the simplest way.
Right. And and I appreciate that Christine, and we talked it out. And here's the answer that now, Christina, you remember the answer that I gave you?
No, I guess, but you can remember. I have memory issues. issues.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I said to Christina. I said, well, was it that I don't understand, or was it that I actually did it on purpose that way? And in some ways, I did it on purpose. And the reason, I'll tell you why. The reason why I did it on purpose is because I did not want to single out anybody. I didn't want to single out RSD. I didn't want to single out chronic pain. Because the minute I started singling somebody out, it gave them cause to not turn the thought. And I didn't want that to be the case. And so I did it very generalistically. And not only that, but I mean, here's the bottom line. Whether you have RSD, whether you have chronic pain, whether you have anguish in regards to mental illness, or whatever the case may be, turning the thought is never a bad thing. It's always going to be helpful. But I think the thing is that I'm not saying turn the thought as in like, now you can get up and you can leap huge buildings with one bound. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you need a domino effect in order to be able to gain the power, to gain the strength, the power of being able to turn the thought as to where it ends up being beneficial for you. And I'll be honest with you, Wayne, one of the reasons why I was kind of taken back when Christina called me is because Christina is a prime example of turning the thought. And, so why don't we find out what it is that I'm talking about? Christina, you have a number of different challenges. One is RSD, right?
Correct.
Okay, why don't you tell me about your RSD?
I've had RSD for 24 years. It is now total body. It affects a lot of my organs, including my brain.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A lot of other problems as well. I have something called Chiari malformation, and of course I have a blown shoulder where it's not even attached by the muscles anymore.
Yeah.
So I have no use of that whatsoever.
Right. Okay, so now you've got RSD and you've got your shoulder and that was recent, then where you hurt your shoulder and you didn't realize how bad you hurt it. So you just not do anything, right? I mean, you pretty much are inbound home and you don't get to do anything or nothing. You don't.
No, I do everything I can do. I should not be able to do anything, but that's not the case. I still do everything I can as far as cleaning. I still go out. It's not like a normal person, but I still do everything I can, even though it's only one arm. It takes me 2 hours to fold a load of laundry, but I still accomplish it.
Yeah, if I was to describe Christina, it would be anything but ordinary or normal.
You're correct on that. I'm not normal.
Well, I'm kind of confused though. If you've got full body RSD, and so I'm kind of confused. You're still able to go out?
I do. I can't drive, but and I may need somebody to help me get into the vehicle, or help me put my legs into the vehicle. But I still get out, yes.
Okay.
Or I still have people come in, and we may play cards. Somebody may have to help me put them into my hand. But we still do things, yes. Don't get me wrong, this disease gets me down.
Right.
But when I'm having a decent day where maybe I can hold my head up, I hold it up high. I keep a smile on my face. I do things that normal people don't do because I try not to let it get me down. I don't want my kids see me in that position. I want them to see me as their mother, or as who I really am, not what this disease does to me. I want to be in charge of the disease. I don't want it to be in charge of me, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Absolutely. So you must take a drug or something that like numbs your body to where you don't feel the RSD anymore, or you don't feel the pain anymore, right? You must do that.
With the mindset, it's kind of like mind over matter. And don't get me wrong, possible, but if you don't, and this is something I had to learn to do, you have to tell yourself that you're either going to let it control you or you're going to control it.
So
I want it to be me.
that sounds a lot like turning the thought.
Yeah. One of the things I think about is the difference between surviving and living. Yeah. And surviving, a lot of times, is controlled by the things we can't do. Yeah. Where living is controlled by the things we can do. And so turning the thought is kind of moving that idea from what I can't do to what I can do. Or as we've mentioned before in the show, when you're faced with a crisis, turning the thought is to take that crisis, it's now a challenge, right. It's now an opportunity. Right. And once it becomes an opportunity, now there's hope, there's optimism, there's something that you can do because you're focusing on the positive. We haven't changed anything in reality as much as we've changed our thought, and now we're open to possibility, and then now we can change our reality. But you know where it starts? That acceptance. There's an acceptance that has to happen that I have this pain, or whatever it is in your life experience, or
injury, illness, or lifetime experiences.
That impacts us. We have to accept that, not accept as agree to it, but accept it as reality. And then from that reality, don't focus on what I can't do, focus on what I can do. And that's turning the thought. It's very difficult. It's a slow process. It's not overnight. And Christina has talked about that with us before.
Folks, I'm being facetious, okay? Christina and I, we know each other very well. And Christina knows that I'm playing her, but the idea is that Christina goes out of her way in order to turn the thought. She has many different challenges in life. We're going to talk about more of Christina's story in a little bit. But she has a way of being able to turn the thought to where she's able to do things that actually mean something to a life. I mean, like Christina, you go out, you do girls' night out, right? You go to the movies. And...
Yes, we go to the drive-in.
Yeah.
Or things like that, because I can't sit in a regular movie theater.
Okay.
Just because of the position. So, even if we wanted to do something with the girls and I together, we learned to go to the drive-in.
Yeah.
Where I can recline and eat. So it's something that works for me to do.
And you saw a concert not that long ago, right?
Yes, we went to see Leonard Skinner.
One of my favorites.
There's even other things, like, for instance, okay, I can't go down the steps to the laundry room. So things that I have learned to do, as I would go down the steps, okay, I can't physically walk down them. So when you were a kid, I used to go down the steps using your hands, and you put your body down behind you. That's what I would do, and I would pull myself across the floor and throw the laundry up into the washing machine. That's what I would do. Those are the things, because you know what? I was the mother, and I wanted to continue to be the mother. Just found other ways to do things.
Yeah.
And I know these things sound very trivial, but it was things that was important to me. Because these are things I wanted to do. I had to find other ways to do things. Because I wanted to continue to live. It may not have been your way, or somebody else's way, but it was my way.
And it all had to start with utilizing your mind in order to be able to convince yourself that you could do it a different way.
Exactly.
And that's
trying to set the table. I could not personally carry the dishes to the dining room table to set the table. So I would put them in a little small plastic bag, put the bag into my teeth, try and transfer the dishes to the dining room, and I would set them up onto the side of the table. It wasn't perfect by any means,
right.
But you know what? I learned to do it for myself.
Right.
It's like you said, it was called turning the thought. It wasn't perfect by any means, but I learned to do it by myself.
And the thing is, see, I mean, this is what I talk about, is that we are all uniquely and specially made. And his name was Loomis, and unfortunately he's passed since, but he was a tremendous mentor of mine. And so what makes us unique, what makes us special, is what our heart impassions. So it's like Christina's sitting there, and she has terrible condition, and with RSD, and yet she still goes out and she goes to concerts. She goes to drive-in, you know what I mean, to watch a movie. And not only she's not doing it by herself, she's doing it with friends. She's doing it with people that mean something to her. You know, and that's what I am trying to get across, because that is what enlivens us. Because I know a lot about the difference between existing and living. We are not put on this earth to exist. And when you start to think that you just simply exist, things really get kind of weird and get kind of dangerous.
And I can understand the thinking of being in, in this case, Christina's talking to us about pain, where somebody feels so much pain that the thoughts that they're having are, I can't do anything. Everything I do is painful. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. Again, that's getting stuck on pain. And some of those thoughts might be, I can't walk up and down the stairs. I can't even get up to set the table. And Christina was able to turn that thought to what she can do. You know what I can do? And this is what worked for her. And again, none of these things are what work for everybody. Everyone's got to find what works for them. But she focused on what she can do. I can crawl up and down the stairs. I can put silverware in a bag. I can put the bag in my teeth, and I can crawl over to the table and get the silverware onto the table. So she was focused on what she can do, and that's what she was doing. Yeah. And that is the difference between existing and living. That existing is that really so much where you can't do anything. You can't. It's all about being driven by can't. Right. Where living is being driven by can.
Now, Crystal, you mentioned another condition that you had. Can you fill us in a little bit of how that's going?
The carrying information.
Right.
Due to the RSD, it has affected my brain, like I've told you. Mm-hmm. Since that, I've had 5 brain surgeries, and I have a shunt in my brain. What happened is from the RSD, I have too much fluid in the actual brain. They've had to put a shunt in to try and drain some of that fluid off.
Okay.
Like I said, I just had another one in December and another one in January of this year. What's happened is the carrier information from the RSD has dropped. The entire back half of my brain has dropped down and is putting pressure on the spinal cord, which in turn has affected my swallowing. So I've not been able to eat basically real food since December because my swallowing is off. I can't swallow it. So I need a liquid diet or whatever you call it.
Okay.
So I want to, of course, drink fluids.
Yeah.
It's inoperable. They can't fix it. But there's things that I've craved, obviously, like pizza.
Right.
Spaghetti.
Okay.
So in order to, of course, I'd be all defensive over that.
Right.
But what I've learned to do is, and I can't have a piece of pizza, but I can drink pizza sauce. So, that's what I do. For instance, last night for supper, I had a few ounces of pizza sauce. And, that did the trick. So I've learned to have that, take care of that craving by having this sauce. And it works. And it made me happy, and that's what matters.
Okay.
So,
let me repeat that. And you tell me if I got it wrong or not. You like spaghetti. You like spaghetti. You like pizza.
Well, she is human.
I'm Italian, so yeah, I understand. I get it. But
right.
So okay. So, but you can't chew it, and you can't swallow it. So you're on a liquid meal diet, and so instead of eating pizza, you just have a little bit of pizza sauce or tomato sauce?
Correct. And it takes care of that craving.
Wow. That's amazing. That's turning.
Wonderful. You should try it sometime.
That's turning the thought. You know what I mean? That's turning the thought to the nth degree. You know what I mean? Here's Christina's sitting there. She likes pizza, which, like Wayne says, everybody likes pizza. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you don't, then, you know, I understand. But she likes pizza, but she can't have pizza. She can't eat pizza. So what's she do? She puts a couple spoonfuls or a couple ounces of tomato sauce in her diet in order to replace that void that she would have had if and she could have very easily said, I can't have pizza, and therefore I can't, and instead she's saying what she can do. And Christina, it makes a difference, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, it satisfies you by having that flavor, that taste.
Right. Of which is what embodies you. It's something that's special to you, or a whole lot of people. But it's something as to where it's like you're not losing it all, but you're finding a way to have it, and just in a different way. In which case, a lot of people wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, that's. I really like it, and I had a thought, and it was, what is it? We shouldn't beat ourselves up too if we're in these situations. We're having those can't thoughts.
Right.
Don't beat yourself up for that. That's actually very normal. It's our brains are developed over time through evolution to focus on the negatives, to focus on the can'ts, because that's what keeps you alive. Fundamentally, evolution is driving survival. It's not about living. Evolution is not about living. It's about surviving. And that survival is, a lot of it is, I can't go out there where it's dangerous. It's all the things that you can do to protect yourself so that you can just stay alive, so that you can exist. And so those initial thoughts, don't beat yourself up. But we have these brains that we can challenge these thoughts. We can say, you know what? I understand what I can't do, but you know what I can do? I have a brain. I can figure out what I can do. Right. And then you focus on the can, and it can be very small things at first. And then you find out over time, maybe you can do more and more and more. And as your can-do list grows, your thoughts start expanding. You're able to get many more options, many more opportunities. And then you find yourself, you're actually living again instead of just merely existing.
Yeah. And it's like, now, and like you talk about the negative bias, and that's what it's called. It's the negative bias. Whether it be society has a negative bias, whether it be that individuals, our language has a negative bias. You know what I mean? It's where, in like Wayne said, it's our primal instinct to have a negative bias because it makes us look out for the worst. Me, I know this all too well because of PTSD. I'm looking for the very worst so that I can be prepared for what is the worst that's out there. So it's like, I'm constantly, people, they tell me, it's like, well, you hold on to the negative, and I look at them like they got three different heads, because I'm not a negative guy, like I talk about Arisen strength there, but in the meantime, I realize now what they're talking about is I'm prepared for the worst. And that comes from my condition being PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. But a negative is definitely average. That is the average. When it comes to trying to overcome the conditions that are out there and the illnesses that are out there, it takes more than the average. You have to do more than the average do in order to get yourself out of that. Get yourself out of that box.
It reminds me there's an episode of The Simpsons, which has been on TV for 25 years.
Oh, this show's just going down.
So there is something on that show for every instance. But there's a show where Art has been, and he's the young boy in the show, put back a grade because he wasn't doing well in school. He's in a special class where they usually don't do anything all day. But then he does ask the question, he goes, you're and that's the thing is, when you are faced with these challenges, you can think of them as a crisis and let them hold you back, or you can switch it over to an opportunity where yeah, we're not going to go slower. We're going to do more. And part of that do more sometimes is just to think more. You have to focus more on what I can do, because for people suffering with illnesses, injuries, or just experiences, you're going to have to work harder to find those things that you can do.
Right.
And that, it means a shame, but maybe it's an opportunity for growth. That's where we grow. We learn new things that we can do.
Well, there's a famous scene in Days of Thunder, which is it's about a stock car racer. And then you talked about Bart Simpson, so it's like Tom Cruise is the racer, and then you have the Duvall, which is crew chief. And the thing is that Tom Cruise is like any other racer out there. Believe me, I know. He's out there trying to run as fast as what he can, and what he's doing is that he's using up the tires that he's got, and the tires get greasy, and then they start spinning more than they start moving them forward, and so he ends up going slower. So what they did is they did a test. They said, okay, you take this and you do 50 laps the way that you run it, and then you take new tires and you do 50 laps the way that I want you to run it. And what happened is that Duvall wanted him to go slower, and what happened is that his time was actually faster over the long run. And it was because they were focusing on the taking care of the car, taking care of the tires, which in this case, taking care of you, taking care of you as the person who's sitting there in the condition, the illness, or whatever the case may be, is to where that is valuing yourself, and it's part of the domino effect of which I always talk about.
And it's a classic example of turning the thought. In order to turn the thought, you have to challenge your gut feeling, your instincts. You got to challenge the way that you've always done it. I've always done it this way. And, part of changing the thought, turning the thought, is to challenge what you've always done by being open to something new. Something new is going to work, but at least you tried it. It gave you a little something to go by. Maybe it gives you more confidence that what you were doing was the right thing. But, by Tom Cruise character running the second set of laps, he's able to see something he wouldn't have done on his own.
Right.
And part of it is you have to let go of your, you got to turn it over in some sense. You have to get yourself out of your head. You have to stop doing the thinking for yourself. Pause for. It's an interesting.
And there's let's look at my week. Okay, this week has been a challenge. It's like, for one thing, I had a situation as to where I had a debilitating migraine, and it was after after the show, and no, it wasn't because of Christina yelling at me or anything like that. But it was just the fact that I had a debilitating migraine. I could not move, and so much so decided I couldn't work. Now, for those who are criticizers of me and haters of me or whatever the case may be, they're saying, "Oh well, Shane, why don't you just turn the thought?" Well, funny you should say that, because that's exactly what I did. Because my average is to push myself to the point as to where I don't take care of myself, and I push myself to go to work no matter what the case may be. In fact, I've gone to work when I had a stroke one day. I mean, I've had people who work for me, and they realized that I had a stroke one day. And so I did the thought. I turned the thought to value myself, saying it's best for me to take care of me now, but be better in the long run. So that was a big thing for me, is the fact, and I didn't let anybody know. Nobody knew. And Wayne didn't know. None of my friends knew or anything. Because I was that out of it. I was just to the point where I couldn't do anything. And me, I power through it. It's like we have a video that's out there as to where I powered through yet another a small stroke, which is called a TIA, of which happened when we were doing the multiple sclerosis awareness video. And a number of people, some of them that are included on the team, were extremely angry with me because I didn't take that time to think of myself and value of myself in order to go to the hospital, which I probably should have done. But instead, I powered myself through it, and I was worse for the wear, for a couple days afterwards, until I did get to the doctors, and then they told me that that something did happen. So, that I did, So turning the thought isn't always doing more than what it is that you normally do. It's sometimes what it is it's focusing on the value of yourself. Now, turning the thought isn't an event. It's not just one thing. It's a domino effect. It's progress. It's not perfection. So here it is on that day, on Monday. Here it is. I didn't go to work. Well, I could have very easily said, I'm going to stay in bed and leave me alone. Okay, and I was sweaty, and I just didn't feel right. I felt, it was funky and everything. And it's like it just wasn't good. Well, I came to turn the thought again, as to where I said, you know what? I can't do much. I could hardly do anything inside the day of light. But what I wanted to do is, the bank is right across the street, and I needed to do some banking. So I got myself up, and I got myself to the bank, and I got done what I needed to get done. When I got home, I realized, okay, I'm definitely starting to go down. And so what can I do? What small thing can I do that I can get something done, before I go down? And what I did was, I did my laundry. You know what I mean? Instead of taking my laundry out of the dryer and putting it on the bed and just going to bed, I actually put the hangers inside the shirts and hung them up, and I got that done. And so it gave me a sense of accomplishment, and it gave me some value to myself at the same time, which is the domino effect. Those little things, those little accomplishments that we do make it a lot of what it is that we go through, and it makes it to the point as to where we start having a better life because of those things. Is where we start valuing. That's where true happiness starts to come into play. Is to where you actually value yourself enough to care, and then that's going to be a what is it, the secret, which is law of attraction. If you care about yourself, are going to care about you. You know what I mean? If you sit there and you actually value yourself, and it makes you feel better, then people are going to they're going to be more welcome to you. They're going to welcome you more into being in part of a relationship, whether it be a friendship, a relationship, or a spouse, or whatever, or a coworker. They're going to be more inviting to you, and that's a big thing when it comes to our happiness, when it comes to our impassions, and when it comes to living as opposed to existing. So, we, Christina's story just absolutely floors me. And Christina, I really thank you for telling us your story. I mean, that is something that really makes anybody, take pause and say, wow, and there are other people out there that do things just like, I mean, like my grandfather used to come home for Christmas cards. He used to have the most beautiful Christmas cards, and my mother will love this when me talking about it. He used to have these beautiful Christmas cards, and we always wanted to know, where the heck do they come from? And he would never tell us. Well, he was a salesman for Philip Morris, so he was all over the place. And so, it came to when he had passed away, we found out where it is that he was getting these Christmas cards from, and that was veterans who had lost limbs. And so that they actually paint the Christmas cards individually with their mouths or with their feet. And they have such a long waiting list, we couldn't get on the waiting list in order to be able to, because as soon as somebody passes, the next person gets on the list. So we weren't able, I wasn't even, because I wanted to do that in memory of my grandfather, but I wasn't able to do it because they have such a long list, based off of the talents and the capabilities that these people can do. in spite of the challenges that they face on a daily basis. So I mean, that's, you know, I mean, those there's plenty of examples out there to be learned from.
And that's a beautiful story.
Yeah, I mean, and
Anything else?
Go ahead.
Anything else that you want to remind people of is you just need to set small goals. No
Right.
matter how small they are, set one at a time. And you accomplish them one by one.
Yeah, and go ahead and tell us.
The best you can do.
You've got some goals in mind for yourself, don't you?
Yes, I do actually.
And what are they?
Setting them over the years, and right now my goals are my daughter is expecting a baby
Right.
here in within 2 months. So I'm going to be expecting my first grandchild, and that is my first goal. And my next one obviously is going to be my son's going to be getting married. So
Okay.
that's going to be my next goal. Of course, I've already figured out what I'm going to wear. And then I'll figure things from there.
See,
Figure backwards from there. So
you just made my point of which I was going to make. Goals. When it comes to live your dream, don't just dream your dream, live your dream. Swim in it if you can't live in it. Swim in it to the points where Christina just talked about how she's going to go to the wedding and she already knows the dress that she's going to wear. She already sees it. She envisions it. She's in it. She's swimming in her dream. She's swimming in her goal. Do that, because that it automatically, what happens is that your mind, they come along with that vision that you have, and it makes it happen, because we want to validate what it is that we're thinking. And just like we want to validate how it is that we're feeling or thinking, and when we're not feeling well or when we don't want to do things, Christina wants to validate the fact that she's got her dream to be at the wedding. She wants to hold her grandchild. She sees this. She's got it in her vision, and she's going to make it. And there's no doubt about it in my mind that she's going to actually have that time where she's going to think it's a deja vu, because she's already been there. Because she actually lived in it. She swam in it, right now, and it hasn't even happened. But it makes a difference, because it makes you feel that way. It's called fake it until you make it. But guess what? When you start feeling it, you're faking it. Because you start moving forward, you start getting forward. We talked about last week when we started talking about the elephant. The baby elephant is trained in order to stay where it's supposed to be. What they do is that they have a little chain on the thing. It's not so little to us, humans and so forth, but to an elephant, it's small. And they even use rope. And what they do is every time that the elephant gets to a certain distance, they shorten it up. And they shorten it up a little bit more. And next thing you know, they shorten it to the point where the elephant doesn't even try to leave. You know what I mean? And it ends up staying where it is. Same thing when it comes to our illness, when it comes to our pain, when it comes to our situation, when it comes to our mental incapabilities and so forth. What happens is we get very familiar with what it is that we're doing and feeling, and we want to validate is that we're feeling. I don't feel well, or I'm in pain, or I'm not as smart as what other people are, or whatever the case may be. We want to validate that, and it keeps us in that box, just like that elephant. It keeps it to that spot where it doesn't go. And where here, Arisen Strength, I get up to that elephant and I look, I get to the ear and I say, run! Challenge! Go! You know what I mean?
If the elephant just moves his leg, he'd be free. But he doesn't challenge, and then many times we don't challenge our thoughts. And because what happens is that we have those feelings, and those feelings are real.
Yes.
And like Shay mentioned, if you can picture and visualize your dream, if you can get yourself in that future that you want, and attainable, something. Try not to. I mean, you can be as unrealistic as you'd like, but by picking things that are within your ability, then you can actually live those dreams and then realize those dreams and then get this real feedback effect of like, wow, I felt good all the time, and then actually, and you get that progress. Feelings can be really amazing.
Yeah, and it's like, again, it's progress. It's not perfect. You get a little bit more. You get a little bit more strength. You get a little bit more forward than where it is that you were in the first place. You get it to the point as to where it's like Christina. She wasn't able to walk down the stairs, so I'm sure she didn't figure it out as to where she was going to walk on her hands to get down to the stairs to do the laundry. I'm sure the first time that she did it, it took her a while to get down to the bottom of those stairs. It's like it's a little bit. It's just a little bit. Just decide to change the thought. Just decide to go against what it is that you're thinking and feeling. Believe me, I understand when there's therapists that are out there, when there's doctors that are out there, the main thing that they love to say is feelings aren't facts. I know what it's like to say, listen, here's a fact for you. I feel this way. Okay? I know what it's like. I know how that is. But when I learned how to decide to just challenge what it is that I was thinking and what I was feeling, then all of a sudden I started moving a little bit forward. Then all of a sudden I started progressing a little bit more. My progression, hey, it wasn't an event. It took a while. It took, 4 years? I mean, it's like sitting there. It's when Wayne can attest to you. It's like when I decided that I was going to change things and I was going to challenge things, I still was at my worst. And I just started writing and just doing every single little thing. I started writing a book. I wasn't very good at it, but I started writing a book, and it gave me a purpose. It gave me something to go towards. It gave me something to do. And next thing you know, it's like, no, I wasn't good at writing a book at that time. I'm still doing it, but I couldn't do it at that time. But then all of a sudden I realized, hey, there's a speech here. And then next thing you know, I started my speech. And over the past 2 years, my speaking career has kind of jumped off from the bottom and into Arisen Strength. It's where it is moving to where we have opportunities left and right, and we're able to make things a difference, not only for ourselves, but for other people. And that's where, it's like, it's just decide to change the thought. It's just decide to challenge what it is that you're feeling on the inside. And it gets you a little bit forward. You notice I'm coming more. I'm coming forward. I'm coming closer. I'm coming closer. It's inch by inch by inch by inch by inch. It's not, I'm right here and I'm all done. No, it's inch by inch by inch. It's like a domino effect, and where all of a sudden you get to the point is where now you've got it to where now you are going to now value yourself over and over and over to where all of a sudden you're not faking it anymore. You're not faking it anymore. You're feeling it now. Therefore, you are. And that is your Arisen Strength. That is what turning the thought is all about. And it makes a life instead of existing in a life. And that's what it is that we try to get across when it comes to turning the thought. Because those are the benefits. It changes a person. It changes relationships. It changes how you feel. Are you not going to feel pain? No, you're going to feel pain. There's no doubt about that. But you're going to feel accomplishment. You're feeling for something. And that is what living is all about. That's Arisen Strength for tonight, folks. I want to, we get to celebrate. And we really get to celebrate tonight. We actually are going to we're going to go past 1,000 views for the Arisen Strength podcast tonight on this Father's Day. Folks, I just want to say thank you for all your dedication to watching the show, for supporting the show. It's like, it makes amazing. It's amazing because we really didn't get going. We didn't hit our stride until March. And we've got 1,000 views when it comes to a Arisen Strength podcast. That's a pretty good accomplishment in itself.
And I'd like to thank Christina for joining us. So,
yep.
How about another celebration? Her sharing her story with us, with all of us. Kudos to you for really having the courage to come on and share with us, and really to inspire us. That's what you've done. You've got a
Thank you
great.
for having me, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
And you do. You inspire me.
Enjoy your week and burn the thought.
Absolutely. Turn the thought and see what happens. Folks, if you want to come, if you want to actually contact us, you can contact us by email. It's arisenstrength@gmail.com. On Twitter, it's @arisenstrength. Or if you want to tweet to us, use that hashtag @arisenstrength. And, of course, we've got the Arisen Strength family group, which is, I love them to death. They're a big part of the reason why we've got 1,000 views, as is tonight. And now we've got the interactive studio. We're getting bigger, we're getting better, and we're making that concept make a difference. Support, empower, and celebrate. And we're going to be celebrating a whole lot the remainder of this year and for a lot more years to come. Thanks for coming to see the show, and we'll see you on Thursday night when we do the recap show. Don't forget, come and listen to on the Journey to the Light Network tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for seeing the show. Folks, have a good night. Happy
Everybody.
Father's Day.